welcome to Everyday Family Adventure. I'm Trent, and today we have a special video for you once again. If you saw the video that we just did recently on the tour through Jim and Kellie Stockman's whole RV setup, it's a really cool thing. They've got the smart car, they've got the massive huge truck. It's almost like really huge and really little in the same color put together. It's really great. So it's a really cool tour, but I wanted to get some time for you guys to meet this awesome couple. They're about to hit the road a whole lot more this year, and just some awesome adventures that you guys have been on, are about to go on. You are believers, and so you have this mindset that's like, I want to share the gospel of Jesus Christ with the whole world. So I mean, I love that. It's so cool. As well as the fact that Jim and Kellie have been part of our prayer team for the last year, which has been awesome. They've been closely connected with Siobhán and I, and all of the prayer things that we've been putting out, and the places that we go to about like, hey, should we go here? We're praying about going here, all that kind of stuff. And so it's been a huge blessing to have you guys part of our lives. And so we just want to get to know you guys a little bit better.
Hi, I'm Jim, and my wife Kellie. We're both in our early 60s.
Teens? You said in early
I
teens?
just turned 60.
I retired about 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, from the federal government, and Kellie's been not working for probably
about 5 years.
5 years since you were working, and before I retired, we felt that God was calling on our life to go on the road and share the gospel, and we didn't know why, we didn't know how. We had been RVing for all of our married life for over 39 years, and actually we started backpacking, so we've been RVing for probably 35 years.
In 35 years, is that how long you guys have been married?
39.
39
It'll be 40
years.
in February.
And how many kids do you have?
Three kids.
3 kids.
2 girls and a boy.
And they've gone on RV journeys with you.
Oh yes.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And they all love to camp and travel, and
We were able to raise our family, our 3 kids. We were able to cover most of, well, probably half of the United States, and Alaska, and probably the western third of Canada in our RV while the kids were growing up.
That's amazing. I love that. Yeah, we haven't been to Alaska yet,
we need to go.
but we'll just go with you guys.
We've made the trip
hope
9
so.
times. We're ready to go
Next
again.
summer.
Oh, that would be awesome. That would be
Next
so
spring,
awesome.
I should say.
So tell us just a little bit about what that looks like as far as for you being out on the road. Like, you come into a campground, what's the first thing that just kind of gets you guys excited, or gets you the opportunity to introduce yourself to people or talk to people? What does that look like?
Well, obviously we've got quite the setup here, and as we've always said, it's quite the conversation starter.
Yeah.
So people are always, we kind of giggle because when we pull into an RV park and we start to pull the car off, people are behind trees, behind their coaches, taking pictures of us, taking movies.
Videotaping them.
I know, it's so cool.
It's like, oh, don't mess up.
Yeah. A lot of the pressure's on.
A lot of pressure.
You know, and
But
the
it's
biggest
fun.
and the biggest question we always get is, think you got a big enough truck?
Yeah.
And you know, our answer has always been, yeah, it's not the go, it's the whoa.
Yeah.
That's great.
Gotta learn
I
how to
love that.
stop on that. But we have the biggest vehicle and the smallest vehicle, basically, so we are a sight.
Well, it's nice that you have the smart car, because then you're not using this gigantic machine as a grocery getter.
Right,
Yeah.
right. We did, we kind of eased into this a little bit. We had a Freightliner, what they call a medium duty. It's a kind of a 4-door pickup on steroids, and we used it, and it was our grocery getter, and it actually worked pretty well. We parked in downtown San Antonio with it and drove around and sightsee and put the dogs in the back, and it actually worked really well. But we figured if we were going to go full time that we needed a smaller utility vehicle to get around with, and so that's why we went the direction we did.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you're full time. Like, explain that one to me. You guys sold your house. You sold your land. You sold the place where your kids called home. And why? Why would you do something crazy like that?
Well, he came to me, he says, I just feel God's telling us that we need to get on the road. And I'm like, no, I didn't hear that. But because we had 32 acres, we had 3 horses. Daughter lives in the valley with 2 kids, our 2 grandkids, 2 of our 4 grandkids. And
my parents live here.
His folks and his sister live here, and our niece, and so we have family. And
Yeah.
and at the time, I don't think I was really ready to give that up and be, in a 5th wheel full time. It's just like, no, I don't think so. But a couple years ago, we went for 2 months, and by the end of the 2 months, it was like, well, maybe I could do this.
Yeah.
And then last year we went for almost 4 months, and I said, yeah, we could do this.
And you have grandbabies.
And we have grandbabies.
In Texas.
We do. So that was
that's
really
a pretty big deal.
Yes, and our son lives in Seattle temporary. I think he's gonna move back to Spokane. So we could go and see them when we wanted to. So that was really, really good.
Yeah, and I have to say, like, with how transient our nation is, like, it doesn't surprise me that people your age would be coming into this. There is kind of this stigma that says the house that you've lived in while you've worked for 30 years somewhere and retired from it, like, that's gonna be the house that our family will come back to.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then your age group kind of says to themselves, our family's not coming back as much as we'd like.
Yeah.
Did you get that?
Well, and it's a lot of work. 32 acres is a lot of work, and we thought it's going to keep us young, and now it's like, it was like, I'm tired of this.
But you're
It's funny you say
life.
that. The people, what were you going to say?
You're absolutely correct. What we're discovering is with our oldest daughter and her family in Texas, they don't make it to every holiday occasion. No. They don't make it, we're lucky to see them for them to come up and see us once a year, which we're so blessed, when they do that.
Yeah.
But it's expensive.
It is expensive. And then our other daughter and her family live here in Spokane, but they have in-laws that they have to associate with, and so it's not like, I think last Christmas really hit us kind of hard because we didn't have anybody come to our house last year.
Oh yeah,
no,
and so you realize that, and my parents kind of been in that place too.
Yeah.
And try to make, we do that. We have a large family, and and across states, Virginia and Michigan, for us, it's always been a difficult thing.
Yeah.
But I see that kind of joy come alive for you guys and others, and I'm blown away at how joyful that part becomes. There's this thing that's like, well, the home that everybody would come back to won't be there anymore, but home is never a place. It's where your family is.
Exactly.
Right.
And now we get to change backyards and go see everybody else.
Yeah.
That's the fun part about it, is we get to go visit with them.
We get to spend Christmas with our daughter in Texas for the first time.
They've
been married 6 years, so it's very exciting.
Yeah, so how long are you guys planning on being in the Texas area this year?
From December through March.
Yeah.
We're debating whether or not to go down to Orlando in February as a side trip, and then back to South Texas. So we're looking at some of our options.
Yeah, yeah. How do you feel like your kids here, cope with that? Like mom and dad are being the ones that are crazy and traveling all over the place. Like, what's that?
At first, our daughter Jennifer, who lives here, had a little, I think she was a little upset about it, and then she went and talked to her pastor and told him what we were doing, and then so she counseled with him, and he just thought it was awesome what we're doing. So she changed her mind on that.
Yeah.
But I understand, because I'm going to miss her too, but I also miss my other girl. So.
Yeah, it is funny, like with the things that we put in importance in my family. We lived in Battle Creek, Michigan, which was about an hour and a half away from the majority of my family, but 12 hours away from Siobhán's family. And we were traveling all over the place all year round, and it felt like we were in Virginia. We tried to get there like twice a year, but even in Michigan, like it's kind of silly. We would see, like I'd see my parents a lot, but brother and sister, and we really would see them like twice a year.
Right.
And we were an hour and a half away,
Right.
you know,
I know.
and so now, you know, it's wonderful. None of them give me grief. At the beginning, though, they were originally like, "You're going to be so far away." And I'm like, "Well, we'll still see you the same amount of time. In fact, we almost will see you more."
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
You have that.
And I think, you know, with my parents still living here in Spokane, I think they took it the hardest,
Yeah.
even more so than our kids did.
Yeah.
They were afraid that we were going to up and sell the ranch and move and get on the road and never see them again.
Yeah.
And you know, we've probably seen them more in the
See 'em all
last
the time.
2 months than we did in the last year. So, you know, it's really kind of nice because it frees us from having to deal with the little things. Like Kelly said, it took so much work to keep the property up and to keep the horses fed and to keep them going, and you know, it just the daily routine just got in the way.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, when Siobhán and I bought our farmhouse that we had sold before we got into the RV, it was a huge, you know, area for us, for a family of 7. It was 2 acres of land, just a big, huge lawn to mow, barn, outbuilding, tons and tons of work, and the people who sold it to us were a couple in their mid-60s, and they were like, "We don't want to work on the yard anymore."
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
It's beautiful, but what's really valuable in our life, you know, like
Yeah.
And it's like I told Kelly when we sold the ranch, it was time to pass the torch on to, because we bought it 13 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We bought it 13 years ago with the ambition of taking it into retirement. But once we got into retirement, we found that it was just taking up too
it
much
was
time.
too tiring
Oh
Yeah.
my
for
gosh.
retirement.
Yeah.
So what are you guys most, obviously besides seeing your little ones, the little grandbabies, what's the most exciting, like, maybe bucket list thing that you're looking forward to within the next year? Like, you know, you're heading down to South Texas in the winter, which if you're living in Spokane all the time, like
Yeah.
to not have snow
Oh,
is going to
that's
be
awesome.
awesome.
That will be nice.
so awesome.
I don't know. What's on our bucket list?
I know what I wanted. I want to go to New Mexico and watch the balloons.
Oh,
In
yeah,
Albuquerque?
The hot out, yeah, the
that'd
hot
be
balloon,
so
hot air balloons. But I don't
great.
think it's going to be this year. It'll be
It'd be like next
Couple
fall.
years,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
happening in just about 3 weeks from now, actually.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
which, yeah, I mean, the Easterlies are going to that. Like, again, once again, everyone who went to Alaska is like, "We're gonna go to the balloon festival." I'm like, "That's okay. We're gonna go to Hawaii." So,
yeah, that's not bad. That's not a bad trade-off.
yeah, so, oh, that's so cool. I mean, I love your heart for Christ. I love that you guys have been so just like parents to us as we've been traveling, just joyfully,
We
like,
love you guys.
encouraging us in so many ways. Like, you know, these guys were the ones that, if you remember when our water pump broke, like Jim's like, "I'm putting one in the mail for you right now." I'm like, "Man, that's amazing. You guys are such a blessing."
Well, you're a blessing to us. More
you know,
than you can even understand.
I just think to myself, like, we have a big desire to help people come out of that box and live life free, whether it's young and definitely those who are older, you know, those who are coming into their, you know, the passing the work years into the retirement, and honestly, it doesn't mean you need to be done living.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely.
like,
Yeah.
retirement
We've just
doesn't
started.
mean you sit on your couch and play crossword puzzles
Right.
all day long.
We hike, we bike, we take the dog for walks. What we probably like the most is associating with people, conversing with people.
Yeah.
You know, and we just to spread the love. You know, that's probably our favorite thing to do on the road. In fact, we've been here now in Spokane, back in Spokane for close to 6 weeks, and we're actually itching to get on the road. You know?
I know that feeling. Yeah, we were in Ludington for about 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Too long.
Yeah.
Like, I love it. Don't get me wrong. We love the people there, but Siobhán and I were itching to get moving.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
because we
Yeah.
just love people. You know, we love the conversations. We love we just love to sit down and talk to folks.
So, in that sitting down and talking to folks,
Yeah.
let's say we've got some viewers here that are contemplating this craziness.
Yeah.
Let's say they're even your age and they're coming to that place too, where the wife is talking to the husband's talking to the wife, and one of them says like, this thing's a lot of work. Maybe there's a different way to live. What would you say? What would you say to people like that? Like the people who are just starting with the thoughts. They have that question in their eye that says, so why'd you do that?
For me, I did a lot of stuff at home that I did not want to give up, which was really hard for me before I decided that I wanted to do this too. I did my garden, my vegetable garden, I canned, I dehydrated, I did all that stuff. And it was a lot of soul searching. What's more important? Is it going out and spreading the gospel, or having enough canned goods in my basement? That's what I had to get over. Take the leap. take the leap and just start like we did. We started watching YouTube channels, which is where we saw you, and just see what it's all about. Going out there and be able to have a new backyard every 6 weeks or a week or day or whatever you want to do, because you can do anything you want.
Yeah.
I would say try it. It took us 2 years to come to the conclusion.
Yeah.
It definitely took us 2 years to make that decision.
Yeah, like not full timing's not necessarily for everybody.
Oh, yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Like
right.
you guys, so you
we started
dipped your toes in.
When we were raising the kids. We would go out for usually 3 weeks at a time, cover a lot of ground, see a lot of history with the kids. This country's got a lot to offer. And then when we were on our own, we decided to try it for 2 months. And we covered a lot of ground. We went from Washington State clear down to the Everglades and back.
Wow, in 2 months?
In 2 months.
Seriously, I didn't think I could go for 2 months. I thought.
And then you're like,
too
whoa,
long.
2 months was so quick. I got to do this
gosh.
longer. Was that what it was?
Basically, the next year we went 4 months. So
Yeah, then we tried it for 4 months, and then we got home, and I wasn't ready to come home. And we got home and said, well, if we're gonna do this, because we got home to waist-high deep weeds and grass, and
Yeah, at some point you say to yourself, like, man, there's so much more I want to see, but the logistics of keeping up this house, like,
Yep.
wait a minute, why do we
had
have it?
so
You
many
know?
gardens and the weeds, and it was too much.
yeah. So full timing's not for everybody, but if you want to try it, if people are thinking about it, I would suggest that they try a 4 weeks, and if that works, then try an 8 week, and if that works, then and just kind of stair step it up, and then eventually you'll make that decision whether or not it's for you.
Well, let me ask you
Right.
this too. Would you guys be willing to be a voice on the other line for somebody that has questions that's your
Absolutely.
age that
You
might
bet.
need to ask, like, hey, just kind of walk me through the first steps, you know?
Yeah.
You
Would
bet.
you?
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
so then they need to know how they can get a hold of you. They need to know, like, your Instagram, like, how do people reach you? I mean,
Well, we've had an Instagram for a while, and it's called Sweet Travels, and I believe the thing is sweet.travels if you want to look us up.
on Facebook,
And
you're
I'm
at
working
Sweet
on
Travels?
my Facebook, actually. I had
Okay.
to walk away from the computer today because I wanted to throw it. But
I-
Instagram.
Let's throw your computer.
And through Instagram, they can get to our Gmail account, right?
Yes, they should be able to.
They should be able to
Yeah.
contact us through Instagram.
What
It's-
is your Gmail account?
JKRV Journey.
Oh, you're right.
JKRV Journey at gmail.com.
Okay, very good. Awesome.
So, yeah.
Well, you guys
Email
are
us and-
you're a blessing to people. I mean, you know what's awesome about this is Siobhán and I have the opportunity all the time through this channel to, in essence, minister to people through that conversation. We
Yes.
always say that our ministry exists to be a spark of hope and revival in the believer and a light of freedom to those who don't know Christ. Because without Jesus in this, like, you gotta admit, living alternatively in an RV is pretty stinking cool and pretty stinking freeing.
Yeah.
Yes.
We also believe that it's still futile without Christ, and that's the next step, the most important thing. Like,
Absolutely.
that's the spark of revival that we love to see.
Absolutely.
You do get a chance to meet people and talk to people.
God puts people in front of us. It's so awesome.
It
we
is.
just take the dog for a walk, and people just come up, we talk, and next thing you know, they're, you know, talking to us about things that they don't understand why they're telling us these things.
And we
So
get to
great.
pray.
But we do.
And we get to sit down and pray with them.
And,
Yeah.
But
That
God
is
always
so
is
great.
faithful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Well, that's cool. I hope you guys got a good picture of Jim and Kellie Stockman. I know, like I always say, like most of the time, this YouTube channel that we run, I may just be doing it selfishly for me all the time because I want to be inspired by their journey. I want to be inspired by their faith, and it inspires me a lot. You guys have inspired us a lot. So.
Well, thank you. We love you guys so much.
Very grateful for you guys. So don't forget, you can keep up with Trent and Siobhán by following our newsletter, trentandsiobhán.com. You can follow our Instagram, Everyday Family Adventure, and our Patreon adventure there. If you like what we're doing, give us a thumbs up and subscribe and give us a share. And we'll let you go today. So remember, we can make the world better.
I believe we can.
Bye, guys.